And we're live.
Hey everybody, welcome to another live Nerdrotic recap. God, I can't say it, it's a tongue twister. Welcome to
Recap, yeah.
another
Recap.
live
Recap for the
Nerdrotic
week.
recap. Recap for Supergirl, Season 2, Episode 2. We got a lot of metallic action, and
Metallos.
we're having hashtag way too much fun watching these Supergirl episodes. Just way too much fun. I'm your host, John Reed. You can follow me on Twitter at JohnReed16. Joining me, as usual, my co-host, Dennis Bethalkis, on
Hello.
Twitter at DeForce. Hi, Dennis.
Right down here.
So, how's it going? How did you like the episode tonight?
I liked it. I mean, there's a few things that were kind of sappy that were, it's basically the Kara and Alex moments.
Sister drama.
Yeah, the sister drama. But other than that, I liked it. It was really good. It was fun. Sad to see Superman go.
Yeah, I thought he'd be on the show a little bit longer before they transitioned him to a part-time.
Well, it made sense. I mean, he had to go back to Metropolis and, take care of things.
We're losing Cat, too. We're losing Cat and Superman.
Well, yeah, we knew we were losing Cat because they can't afford Callista Flockhart anymore.
I heard it was that she didn't want to film in Vancouver.
Yeah. And also she didn't want to film in Vancouver. It was two things.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford her, and she didn't want to move to Vancouver.
Yeah, which is a bummer. She definitely grew on me. I was a little skeptical about Callista Flockhart. I was hoping it wasn't going to be like Supergirl Ally McBeal, but she really was good in the role, and I think it's going to be missed, especially because my least favorite character on the show, Jimmy Olsen, is also not only is he Guardian, he's also the new Cat. Jimmy equals new Cat.
Well, the thing is, they did introduce a new character, Snapper Carr, which is in the comics. Snapper Carr.
Who's Snapper Carr?
He is the head of Catco Industries newspaper. I forget what the newspaper is called. So he's a reporter, actually.
Big Jerk Times.
And actually, I kind of liked him. He was pretty much a jerk, and I'm kind of interested to see how Cat's gonna, or not Cat, but Kara is gonna deal with this.
You could identify. That's how you would be if you were a Catco.
Well, you figure he's dealing with a lot of crap there, so yeah, I'm pretty sure he's, and plus he's a reporter. Your media is dead. Ha ha. Sorry.
He's like, we don't do newspapers anymore. If you can get this story out in 140 characters or less, you're hired.
Exactly.
So
it's gonna be,
we've got a few plot lines going on this week. We've got Kara starting or trying to start as a reporter within Catco. We've got Cat leaving and Jimmy takes over at the end. We've got sister drama where
Kara was thinking about leaving, to Metropolis and leaving her sister behind.
It's Alex, right? So Alex is a little jealous of her relationship with Clark, and that was that was probably the least interesting aspect of the show tonight. We also got double Metallo, which was weird, and we got
forcing the one doctor to become a Metallo. It was just that was kind of odd.
And we got the case of the stolen kryptonite, right? So
yes,
we got a little bit to unpack tonight. Where do you want to start, Dennis? Where do you want to start on this one?
I'm going to start with the Fortress of Solitude, actually.
That was your geek moment. What's his robot's name?
Kellex.
Kellex in the show.
Yes, and Kellex is actually from the comics, so that was really kind of cool. That was something I did not see coming. And when Kellex came out, I was like, holy shit, they did Kellex. So that was my geek moment.
I think I got up to grab some food and I came back and all of a sudden they were at the Fortress of Solitude because it was right after a commercial break, right? So I was like, wait a minute, they're at the Fortress of Solitude? This is nuts. I had no idea that was going to happen. Do you think Kara has a key to the Fortress of Solitude? Is it like is it like Grant Morrison's where he leaves the key and it's just really heavy and only he and Kara can pick it up?
Yeah, supposedly, okay, there's two different versions of the key. I like the one from the 70s, which is a gigantic marker. It points north, and only he or Kara can lift it. And they use it to, they have to lift it up throw it in this gigantic lock and open it up. Or there's the other version, which you said, Grant Morrison. It's a regular
Batman.
key. Yeah.
I mean, All-Star Superman.
And it's a regular key, but it's made from a dense a black sun or black hole sun or something. I can't remember exactly what it is. It's dark matter.
Sun. Yep.
So it's extremely heavy that no one could lift it except for him and Kara.
So yeah, I wonder if we're going to see Kara hanging out at the Fortress of Solitude this season. Meanwhile, isn't it also weird that we saw Martian Manhunter in the Fortress of Solitude the first time we saw the Fortress of Solitude?
Not really. I mean, he was invited there with Superman, so.
Yeah, but you would think that the first time we see the Fortress of Solitude on Supergirl, first of all, that's weird. But second of all, he would be like in solitude at the Fortress of Solitude.
Nah. They had a reason for going there. I mean, they had to use the Kryptonian technology to find out, what the metal was and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, they had a reason for it.
With Skrillex the robot?
Skrillex. Kellix.
Skrillex the robot. So, yes, that was very, very cool. I wasn't expecting it. I don't think many people were, and it looked cool. I mean, the robot looked great.
Yeah, and the statue of Jor-El and Laurel. Yeah. His mom and dad.
Pretty awesome. Yeah.
Which is actually from the comics as well. I mean, that's a classic take on the Fortress of Solitude.
So another aspect of this show, I guess before we dig into some of the bigger plot lines, which maybe are less interesting to unpack, we also got Mon-El waking up at the end of the episode. We lose Kal-El, but we get Mon-El.
Yep.
So it looks like that's going to be the next arc of this show is going to be dealing with another man out of time, or what's Superman's thing? Anyway, we're dealing with another Kryptonian.
Yeah, we're dealing with another Kryptonian. Well, the other thing was, too, I don't know if you caught it at the end when they were showing what's coming up in the next weeks to come, but flashed up there very quickly was Megan, which is Martian Manhunter's cousin.
Yeah.
Or niece.
So they are I'm telling you, man, they are building toward a Young Justice show. We discussed this when we had Artemis and we had Wild Dog. And
Mr. Terrific.
Now we're getting.
You also have Red Tornado, because remember, Red Tornado is the one that
I'm
helps.
telling you, man, that's their next show. They're losing one of these 4 shows at some point, and we're getting a Young Justice on the CW, and it's a perfect fit for this network. Perfect.
Well, yeah, they have a Friday slot open.
Yeah, exactly. 5 days a week. They're going to keep us busy in podcasting. Every day there's going to be something to podcast about. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming down the pike. This episode, however, was a little bit more, I'd say, by the books than the first episode of the season. We got let's talk about the Metallo fights, and let's talk about Alex's new armor and Martian Manhunter as a fangirl.
Actually, I like the Metallo fight, especially when Corbin gets his hand burned and goes down to the metal, and we actually see the metal skeleton. And I was kind of hoping that they were going to do the classic, burn half of his face so you get half the metal skeleton, half the flesh on there. But I guess it just wasn't in the budget. It's still early on in the second season, so.
It clearly wasn't in the budget because those chest plates that Metallo was wearing, they looked terrible.
Yeah, they're horrible. They were just. I actually was thinking about. I'm like, that'd be a good Halloween costume. It looks pretty simple.
Yeah.
I mean, you just paint like one of those chest pieces that you get from like a Roman, armor or something, and just slap it on
suspenders. Yeah. And just put a big green thing right in the center. That's actually brilliant. Yeah, just cut up a polo shirt and just stick it right over. Man, those things looked awful. That was definitely the worst part of the show tonight, was that makeup job on them. So in the comics, isn't Metallo just one dude?
Yes, he is exactly what he was in this in this series. He's an assassin who got mortally injured and was given the chance to basically take his revenge on Superman. He actually got injured by Superman and it was through his own fault basically. And he was given the chance to get this Kryptonian heart that powers him, and also the metal skeleton, of course, as well.
So, why are there two of them in this show?
I think what they're trying to do is that Cadmus, is building an army, or trying to build an army.
Is this something that the comics has ever dealt with, an army of Metallo men?
No, because there's not enough kryptonite. That's the whole thing. We already saw the kryptonite's gone now, and what little there is of it left, that Cadmus may have, isn't going to do enough good for them to build another Metallo.
Right. Plus, Wynn, in his shining moment of the episode, came up with a, I guess, not foolproof Metallo kryptonite dampener that the super kids wore over their costumes to suppress.
You mean the video screen with the HDMI cables that plug in?
Yeah, the PlayStation VR suit, kryptonite suit. Yeah, but they didn't really work quite well. They got punched a couple times and came unplugged and shit. They need some more tweaking. But Wynn came up with a way that they could fight these guys, which was pretty badass.
Yeah. Wynn was a little bit weird in this episode too. But I don't know.
How so?
He's getting a lot
quippier.
He's getting annoying geeky. Mm-hmm. Whereas before he was actually fun geeky. Now he's just kind of getting annoying geeky. I mean, the whole Yoda quoting and all that kind of sound. Come on, dude, really? That's not you.
He had the potential to be the Cisco of this show, and they've gone way more like bad sidekick friend in a movie, Yeah.
The one that usually ends up getting killed early on.
Yeah, exactly. He's a red shirt. So what was the deal with the the Iron Man suit that Wynn created for Alex? What is that? Is that something from the comics? Is that just something they needed to give her some sort of a power for the show?
I think they had something like that in the first season, didn't they? It was the power suit. And I think what it is, it's kind of alluding. I kind of liked it because a little nod to the Lex Luthor power suit is really what it is. So
maybe Lena Luthor steals it from her at some point.
It could be, we might actually see that. And I think it'd be kind of fun to see a Lex Luthor power suit, especially all in green with the purple,
Yeah, it was even green. It had the green aspect.
It had the green lights. Yeah, it's just it was black with the green lights.
So why do you think they didn't have Lena in this episode? Maybe she didn't really fit in, but you could have had like Lena, who, had something to do with the Metallo, or they thought that Lena maybe stole the kryptonite. Why aren't they using her more at this point?
They exonerated her in the first episode, and then it just would be too much stuff to put into this. I thought the actually episode moved fairly quickly and tight without having to add any more, extraneous material to it. I
agree.
I could have done without the sisters bickering, but
Yeah, we probably could have cut out a little bit of that. So Martian Manhunter dresses up as a child Supergirl school child. That was pretty funny. Did you I didn't really see that coming, and
no, I didn't.
It was like I was trying to figure out what that kid was like. They kept cutting to this little blonde girl in a Supergirl outfit with the cape and everything, and I was trying to figure out like what they were going to do with that. And then all of a sudden, it's Martian Manhunter, and he morphs into himself and actually has a pretty good fight with Metallo, with Superman.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, like they were saying that, everyone thought that they were by themselves, fighting by themselves. Like, no, they've got backup.
Did you like that moment where Martian Manhunter like stabs Metallo through the stomach and pulls out the kryptonite heart?
Well, they didn't show it. That's the whole thing. I know they didn't have the money for it.
Well, he phased, right? He phased his arm in.
Yeah, they alluded that he phased his hand through him and grabbed the heart and brought it out. But, you heard the sound effect.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. And
like a lightsaber?
Yeah. And I was like, okay, so he phased his hand through it, but they didn't show that. So And I understand you don't have any, that much money in the budget still.
I thought it was pretty cool. I honestly did. I thought it was pretty dope when, like, I didn't think the show would go there, right? So you expect them to just knock the guys out and then take the hearts out, from the front, not stab a guy through the chest and pull out his heart through his back. Like, that was
No.
pretty badass.
The one thing I did have a problem with, though, is Alex, and she has the suit on, and she's fighting Metallo, and Metallo's punching the crap out of her in the face, which has no protection. And I'm like, he's been punching Superman and Supergirl and knocking them, like, clear across, and she's taking it to the face and not having any, issues with it. So, yeah.
Whoa. Taking it to the face.
I just realized what that sounded like when I said it, so... Yeah.
Let's keep this PG, Dennis. Let's keep this PG-13 max. PG-13. So what else? We got the mole. We got Cadmus had a mole within agency even.
The DEO.
So there's a mole within the DEO. This seemed to be, to me, the weakest plot thread. Like, if there's a mole, I want to, it has to be somebody we know, right? Like, why allude to a mole that we've never met before?
The reason for it was to get Alex to meet the head of Cadmus to say, "Oh, your dad's turned over to the dark side," kind of thing, and he did so willingly. That's all it was there for. It was very, very badly put together. I mean, it was just kind of like, how are we going to get him to meet? I don't know. We could have a mole. Sure, why not?
Everyone loves a mole. We got to have a mole in every show on the CW at all times. So, is there anything about this specific episode before we look toward the future that you want to touch on? I feel like this episode was... I feel like the first episode was our reintroduction to Supergirl, and this was actually showing us what week to week we're probably going to get. And I would grade it like a strong B for a CW superhero show, and it was pretty fun.
I got it as a part 2 of the first episode.
Okay.
Kind of like a continuation.
I don't understand why the CW, they have these big, like, superhero shows. Why aren't we getting more, like, 2-hour premieres or things like that? Why do you think that is?
Just budget, honestly. They don't have the budget for it. I'm going to use a line from The Simpsons, Treehouse of Horror, that just happened on Sunday. And they did a really good little take on Kingsman, Secret Service. And it's Moe's Bar, which all the drunks in it are actually Secret Service agents, or secret agents. And the pool table lifts up, and Bart's like, "Wow, I didn't know the pool table could do that." And Moe goes, "Yeah, well, it's Halloween money. That's the reason why I could do it."
Yeah, exactly. It's special episode money.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it is. It wasn't a special episode. It wasn't. It wasn't a sweeps week episode, something like that, where they're going to pour money into, and that's the reason why. I mean, they're already spreading it thin as it is over four different series, and having to come up with the money for that. So I can tell exactly the reason why they didn't do it.
So, if you were to assess this cast as it is today, or these characters as they are today, who would you identify as most likely to die before the end of this season? Who do you think we're losing? You think Alex is most likely to die?
Yep.
See, here's the thing. I think that this show really wants to deal with the sister drama. I think that that's a core tenet of the show right now. So I don't see them doing away with Jon, Alex, or Kara, or Jimmy anytime soon.
Alex is either going to die, or she's going to be betrayed, or she is going to be the betrayer, where she goes over to Cadmus.
Okay.
And that's how it's a CW. It's a CW formula for plots. Yeah. And Gary and I were talking about this, I believe, or no, we were talking about this on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's right. And it's a simple, basic formula where someone's going to betray somebody or someone's going to die, and that's going to, give new meaning or some direction for the hero to do whatever they need to do.
I could see a potential betrayal there. I just feel like they're really going to stick these sisters at the this sister aspect at the forefront of the show for a long time.
Unfortunately, yeah, we're gonna get.
And I think Jim as
I was just
Guardian,
gonna
right?
say,
Like we are.
yeah, that's the other thing too. So you're gonna have a lot of, you got Jimmy starting off with the Guardian betrayal, which is probably going to lead to Alex, some kind of betrayal. And it's not going to happen with Wynn because Wynn is too buried into the DEO now. He's behind a desk doing computer stuff. He's not going out in the field.
Yeah.
He's their Oracle. He's basically their Felicity.
Yes. Right. Hopefully, or their Q. He seems more like their Q to me.
Yeah.
I feel like this. Okay, so here's where I think this is going, and I could be completely wrong here. So this is these aren't spoilers or whatever. This is really just speculation. But what they're doing in the movies right now, I think they're going to maybe replicate in a way on the show. And I think they might do Death of Superman at some point. These guys who are doing Flash and Arrow and stuff, they really like these, Flashpoint. They like these concepts from the comics that they can adapt to the show. And I feel like Superman is a part-time character on this, and having Kara deal with the death of Superman and the resurrection of Superman arc would be an interesting point of view to come at that. And I could totally see Superman dying at the end of this season, going into next season as the death of Superman.
I think they're going to leave that for the movies, honestly, because we already have it happening with, he died, of course. Oh, by the way, spoiler, in case you haven't seen Dawn of Love. Yeah, it was only telegraphed in the goddamn commercials. So, yeah, he dies. He's coming back. He's gonna be wearing his black suit and all that kind of stuff.
The long hair, yeah,
and the long hair.
I don't know. I just feel like since they're doing it in the, they've already kind of set the stage for this storyline in the, and I know the movie universe and the TV universe are completely separate. I just feel like now that they've done it in the movies, it gives them license to say, hey, you guys are doing it in the movies, do your thing. We're going to do our version of it on the show. Like, I could really see this
too
being
repetitive.
Maybe.
It's too repetitive. And honestly, I think they're going to deal with the time travel stuff a little bit. Well, they're dealing with the time travel across Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow. So they're kind of tying those three together. I don't know if they're going to tie.
But this still operates in a different universe, right? So they don't have to tie this really into much that's going on at the other shows.
You never know. They might just do it just to tie all four of them in together. Since we are having the crossover between Flash and Supergirl, we know this is already coming. Maybe it's part of the time travel.
Maybe that would be cool. What's the, like, you could name some big crossover type events for Flash and probably Green Arrow. What in the comics is a storyline for Supergirl that has the impact of like a Dark Phoenix saga or a Flashpoint or a Death of Superman?
Crisis of Infinite Earths. That they actually alluded to it when Superman's holding her limp body.
Yes,
he flies up. That's the Crisis of Infinite Earths cover right there.
Yeah, you know what's really funny is when that moment, so my girlfriend's not into any of this stuff, but she watches the shows with me, so she knows nothing of the comics, and that scene happened where like Superman's got the kind of lifeless body, knocked out body of Supergirl in his hands, and he like flies up in the air, and Suzanne just turns to me and she's like, that's something, right? I was like, yeah, it's something.
Yeah, it's an iconic image. And honestly, that's pretty much what it is. Crisis of Infinite Earths. What I would like to see them do is bring in Darkseid, to tell you the truth. Like we talked about before, bringing in Darkseid, bringing in the Furies, bringing in Apocalypse, bringing in Boom Tubes. You can bring in the New Gods into all of this. You have, the whole Kirby run as it is, with the New Gods and Apocalypse. That's ripe. And Supergirl was involved in all of this as well.
Yep.
So you've got all that to play with.
Since they're building a Young Justice TV show, bring in Nightwing. You could bring in like Bat family characters. Could do all sorts of creative
Yeah,
stuff.
I think they're going to leave that for Arrow, to tell you the
Yeah.
truth.
So Superboy's got to show up at some, like, if they do Crisis on Infinite Earths, you have to have the Lex Superboy, like the
You're doing Cadmus, so yeah.
yeah.
And that's where Superboy was created. And, that's actually one of the more bizarre storylines, too, is just, a Superman Lex Luthor love child.
Yep.
That's pretty much what it was.
Well, maybe that's where this Lena Luthor Cadmus storyline is headed. Like, she's got the DNA, and they could totally have either a Supergirl, like a Cadmus, like Lex Luthor, Lena Luthor Supergirl
Well, Lena's adopted,
hybrid.
so
Oh, right. Missing that. So yeah, no, the Superboy thing does seem probable at this point,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think that's season finale stuff or mid-season finale stuff.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be season 3.
You think you think it's going to be next season that they go there?
Yeah.
You think Cadmus is going to be around for the long haul?
Yeah. Cadmus keeps popping its head up all the time. You have it where you think it's gone, and then it pops back up again. Think it's gone, it goes back underground again. They're kind of like Hydra in a way, where they just keep
you're right.
popping back up.
That would be cool. Honestly, I hope they don't wait that long, because Superboy would be a really fucking cool. Sorry, excuse my language. Would be a very cool character and concept for the show to deal with, and the show maybe needs those injections right now to keep people coming.
Well, what they could also pull in is, since they're dealing with the whole alien thing, you can deal with Blue Beetle.
Lobo? Oh, Blue Beetle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the whole, alien invasion.
Young Justice.
Yeah. Exactly. You have the whole alien invasion from Blue Beetle.
Yep. Because they're coming. He's going to be in a movie coming up, right?
I don't know about Blue Beetle, if he's going to be.
There was some announcement of Blue Beetle, because he's tied to Booster Gold in a lot of ways, right?
The old Blue Beetle is Ted Kord.
Not Hermie. Is his name Hermie?
No, Jaime.
Jaime. Yeah.
Yeah, Jaime Reyes. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, so that's interesting. I think that we will get some of this stuff either this season or next season. I can't wait. Obviously, this is speculation, but these creators know what they're doing, and if they're introducing Cadmus and everything, and they're doing Crisis on Infinite Earths potentially, Superboy's got to be a part of that.
You know what? Thinking about it, because Greg Berlanti is actually doing the Booster Gold movie. He's assigned to it. And they already announced that the Booster Gold movie is not going to be part of the DCEU universe.
You think it's going to be part of the TV universe?
Part of the TV universe and not the movie universe. So if he can introduce Blue Beetle in Supergirl and inject it into the Booster Gold movie, that would be brilliant.
That would be brilliant. I think that these guys are creative enough to do something like that. So I'm looking forward to see what they're able to come up with. Okay, so a little bit of housekeeping before we sign off today. We are going to be podcasting about The Flash tomorrow after the episode, but due to the debate coming up this week, we're going to postpone our Arrow coverage just because that night might be a crazy night for a lot of people. So what we're going to do is we're going to do...
I ain't watching any of that crap.
Yeah, I am. And I think a lot of people are. So we're going to postpone the Arrow podcast, and we're going to have that after our podcast about Legends of Tomorrow on Thursday. So you've got Supergirl, which we're doing right now. You've got Flash tomorrow, and then on Thursday we'll have Legends of Tomorrow at 9:30, and right after that at 10 we'll have some Arrow coverage for you guys. And
Westworld,
I think that there's Yeah, Westworld will be coming up on Sunday, and Walking Dead will be podcasting about on Sunday as well. So look for those to drop over the weekend. We're still getting a time for all of us with a lot of schedules to do our TV roundtable and our potential prize giveaway during that podcast. So stay tuned for that. We'll update with more information there. You can follow me.
Oh, and hopefully also we get Ash versus Evil Dead episode 3 going up too, because that was a big episode. It was a huge episode, and I really want to talk about it. And I had
If I watched it, I would do it with you. I feel like I could be a blank slate for you just to tell me what happened, and I can ask random questions because I don't know anything about the show. But I think Gary is a good person for you to be bouncing those types of ideas off.
Yeah. It was very. I mean, there's so much stuff. Unless you've watched the Evil Dead movies, the show, and all that, there's just so much in that episode that we needed. I need someone who's seen the show and knows about it to
So
bounce
yeah,
off of.
we'll get Gary on the line. He's still recovering. He's got the craziest schedule of the three of us. So we'll try to nail him down to get that Ash vs. Evil Dead from this past week and for next week within the next 4 or 5 days. Anything else before we sign off?
I think that's about it. I mean, we're gonna find out on Sunday who Lucille takes down.
Yay,
And
Negan.
and I
Yeah,
think
so
I
follow
think
me at John Reed 16 on Twitter. You can follow Dennis at DeForce on Twitter. You can see all this content at nerdrotic.com, or for the updates and event updates and all of the calendar stuff for the coming week, you can go to facebook.com/nerdrotic podcast. We've got one Twitter that we use for everybody at Nerdrotics. And yeah, I guess it's time to sign off, Dennis.
Yep. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, America.
Awesome. Bye.